Yes, people, welcome back to the Oniyaya. And today we're talking about Alexander Isak and what's going on between him and Newcastle. It's getting real toxic right now, people. Trust me, real toxic. And then we're going to be talking about both ex-Manchester United players, technically, in Marcus Rashford and Gary Neville, going after each other in a bit of a war. And we're going to be also talking about the PFA Awards and just Team of the Year and if we were happy with the people who got in. So yes, people, let's jump right into it. So as we can see, Alexander Isak is having beef with Newcastle. But let's talk about the PFA Awards first. So I was quite happy with what I saw with the PFA Awards. I mean, this is the team that was the team of the year. You have Van Dijk, Gabriel, Saliba, and Kirkes. I mean, not bad. You have three of the best centre-backs in the league, to be fair. And you have the best defensive partnership pairing. And Arsenal did do well defensively, so I get that. You have Sells, which, to be fair, Nottingham did have a good run, and Matty Sells was actually pretty integral in that. Gravenberch and McAllister was the best midfield pairing in the league, hands down. They were really well together and they complement each other really well. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't think that McAllister could have played as a number 8, but he did well with Szoboszlai. I think also Szoboszlai is pretty unlucky to get into this team, and Bruno Fernandes is also unlucky to get into this midfield. Then you have Salah, you have Wood and Isak. Wood, 20-goal season. A lot of people laugh at Chris Wood, but he's in the PFA Team of the Year. And it just shows that never give up, youngsters. Never give up. You know, Chris Wood, a couple years ago, couldn't even make Newcastle's team. And now he was in a team that was fighting for the same positions as Newcastle, or even better. Got to a final. So it's a semi-final, I mean. So, you know, you gotta praise Chris Wood. And then you have, you know, of course, the best player in the league at the moment in Mohamed Salah. Hands down. He is just a goal machine. Like, I don't really like watching Mo Salah play as much. In terms of what he does with the ball, he doesn't excite me as a player. But, God, when he start moving, bro, he is a machine. And if you realize, no, Brian Mbeumo is very similar to Mo Salah. Like, he just wants to play one touch, get in behind, cut inside, shoot goals. And I don't mind that. Like, you can keep doing that in Mbeumo. But the big talk, the big talk of this whole thing is Alexander Isak. Now, he has had 2 consecutive 20-goal seasons. And big up to Alexander Isak. But while we're talking about Isak, he is having massive issues at the moment with his parent club. So as we can see, Alexander Isak and Liverpool really wants Alexander Isak. Now, Liverpool doesn't want to go in for Alexander Isak unless Newcastle gives them the go-ahead. They don't want to be pulled like what Nottingham Forest did to Tottenham, right? So they said, hey, when you are ready to give us the go-ahead, the green light to go after your player, we will do so the right way. You see Anslot saying smart things of those sorts and taking digs at Tottenham when he said, we are one of the only clubs that do things the right way. And I get what you was trying to say. But at the end of the day, bro, you're new to the league, calm down. Even if 1 year you won the league, I don't think you'll win it again. So Alexander Isak is saying that basically Newcastle is trying to play him. But let's just read and see what Newcastle is saying at the moment. So this is what Newcastle said after Alexander Isak put out a statement. Now, I'm going to read you what Newcastle said first, and then I'm going to tell you what Isak said. So we'll see if the reply was as strong as the message, okay? So we are disappointed to have been alerted to the social media posts by Alexander this evening. Basically, they are clear in the response that Alex remains on the contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alex can leave United this summer. They said that we want to keep our best players, but we also understand players have their own wishes and we listen to their views. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team and our supporters in all decisions. Okay. Alright. They go on to say that this is a proud football club with proud traditions and we strive to retain our family feel. Okay? Alex remains part of our family and we will be welcomed back when he is ready to rejoin his teammates. So basically they're telling him, dog, we don't care what you just say in this statement that you just made, that we are going to keep you if we feel like we want to keep you. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them. At the end of the day, when your players need to understand something, do not sign contracts if you don't want to be held for a certain time. Tell the club you want a 3-year contract. You can't sign a 5-year and decide after 2 years you don't want this anymore, so you just want to get out. Yeah, I understand that players are a brand and players are now a business and they pull in a lot of revenue for clubs, but have a little decency, bro. Like, and I can't say I don't respect the way he's going about it, because at the end of the day, a man will do what a man will do to get what he wants, right? So, do you, bro. As long as you're not disrespecting anyone in any way, the only thing you're doing really is upsetting the fan base and telling your club that you don't want to work even if you're on the contract. So that within itself is a bit disrespectful. But in terms of how he's going about it, in the football world, this is a normal thing. So let's not make it a big hiccup. Now, you see a lot of these fans burning the guy's shirt and saying all kind of things like they hope he get like a injury that damages him for the rest of his career. Like, let's not go so far, bro. Like, the guy is literally kicking a football, trying his best to do the best for him and his family. Newcastle ain't ever gonna win the league. How are you upset with this guy who scored 20 goals in the last 2 seasons to want to go to the team that just won the Premier League? I mean, if you're up there with the top goal scorers with Haaland, who is winning the Premier League with City, bro, of course you want to go to the club that's fighting with them. You know, he was willing to go to Arsenal. Now he wants to go to Liverpool. So clearly, you can see what his ambitions are. Alright then, so this is what he had to say about, like, in his statements. So basically, he did not go to the PFA Awards. Okay? He did not show up to the PFA Awards. And all he had to say this about, he said, I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League Team of the Season for 24-25 season. First and foremost, he thanked his teammates and everyone at Newcastle who supported him all the way. Now, respect for that, bro. Like, as I said, you have to give due where it's due, okay? Give Jack his jacket, okay? Always. Then he says, I'm not at the ceremony tonight with everything going on. It didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. So now he start bite back. Now he start to say, dog, low. Now he start bite back. Because, to be fair, a lot of people have been talking about this. The media, his coach. I mean, I shared something in one of my earlier videos when I spoke about Newcastle and Eddie Howe and what he had to say about Alexander Isak, and that I thought that Isak was going to leave. But now he's getting even more toxic because now he's saying, yo, all y'all have been speaking, now fummy time for chat, dog. You check? A fummy time for chat. So now, he said the silence has allowed people to push their own versions, and even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors, the reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. So what is his position, right? Now he's saying to now act as if these issues are now only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now, and why change is in the best interest of everyone, not just myself. So he basically telling the club, let me go or else I'm going to cause confusion. So that's why the club have to respond to you the way they respond to you, dog. You know, like, I can't, honestly, Isak, like, bro, I respect you so much as a player, and I think you're a high quality player. But there comes a time when you have to show respect, bro. You can't basically give the club an ultimatum that let me go or else I will cause confusion. It's better for me, it's better for you, it's better for everyone. And I get it, it is. Because if it doesn't make sense that a player is at a club that he doesn't want to play for. Okay? But then at the end of the day, bro, don't disrespect your club when you know that you are still contracted there for 3 years. I would understand this behavior if you were only there for like a year left. Or maybe 18 months on your contract left. Then you're like, you know what, let me go. Because then you aren't going to get any money. Or, you know, like, you keep the club at ransom then. But not like, no, you're in a position where you're going to say like, hey, let me go or else I'm going to cause confusion. No, Isak, don't be that guy, bro. Because at the end of the day, also, no, what you have to do is realize that you are making yourself out to be a person that you're probably not. You know, you're probably not a person that likes confusion. You're probably not a person that likes all this drama. That's why you probably told them months ago that you wanted to leave this summer. So I totally get your frustration, but then you have to go about it in a professional way to understand and realize that if you set this sort of like aura around you or this sort of dynamic around you, that people will think of you of this person, like your character, this person. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look for your branding. It's not a good look for your new club. You know, and of course, if you score 30 goals for Liverpool or 20 plus goals for Liverpool, which you will probably, if you go or not, that people will start to change the narrative behind you. But come on, be better and do better. So now, talking about be better and do better, I think I should give that sort of, you know, advice to this guy they call Gary Neville. Now, Gary Neville and the ex-Manchester United players, I don't know why they always attack the young Manchester United players, but also just Marcus Rashford. It's like they, especially guys like him, they really want it. You think Gary Neville don't want to be Sir Gary Neville? He captained England. He was Manchester United captain, arguably in one of the most, like, the best time period ever. You know, he was a part of the Premier League when the Premier League became the Premier League and was the captain of the big club as well. He played with some of the biggest players. He played under the best manager to be rumored around. He won the treble. You know, like, they brought great joy to England. This guy wants to be knighted. No one can sit on here and tell me he don't want to be knighted. Of course he would love to be Sir Gary Neville, especially at his age. You know what that would do for his branding right now? If he was named Sir Gary Neville. Any which way, here he is, again, going after Marcus Rashford, right? Over something so basic that was asked. They asked him simple, which is a fact, that he has gone about for years about the structure of Man United. They're not onto good things. How many times have Gary Neville even recently spoken about all the structure and all this thing at Man United? Every week, the Gary Neville podcast. He have the world to say about the club. And now they ask him about the structure and Rashford. Because he didn't like some of the things Rashford said in his interview. This is what he had to say. Now, before I play what he had to say, I just want you to listen to the question asked, what they said Rashford said, and then I'm going to play for you after that what Rashford actually said and what actually is hurting Gary Neville and them. To the point where he didn't even want to respond to what Marcus Rashford said inside of that interview. Now, listen to this, right?
With a plan and stick with it somewhere, haven't they? let's ignore that, because I don't want to go into Marcus Rashford comments tonight. He was there at the club for 10 years, had his opportunity to impact the club. Ruben Amorim this year, I think, will do a good job. I think.
So you don't
Marcus
agree with whoever said it? You don't agree with the general point that they need to come up with something? They've come up with this plan, this way of playing, this formation, and actually just sticking with it.
No, but yes.
Now, was there anything said that was wrong? Now, all the guy asked him was about Marcus Rashford said about the structure of Manchester United. He says, oh, Marcus Rashford United had 10 years to do whatever. And, bro, grow up. Grow up. You know, Marcus Rashford had 10 years at Manchester United, fear. But in that 10 years was the worst 10 years of the club's period. And he's just made the age 27. So which means in this kid's most important years of development as a player, right? Okay? That's what you're trying to tell me, that as Marcus Rashford sits at home right now and says, right, so Gary Neville saying that Marcus Rashford had 10 years at Manchester United, but this is the worst 10 years at the club. And then when you look at it, he was at the time of his most important stage of his career, the developmental stage for him to grow from a kid into a full-blown professional. He was at a club that was struggling, changed managers 4 or 5 times. He played maybe 3-4 different systems. As a kid from 17, he didn't even break into the team the right way. There was injuries, he had a chance, and boom, he did his thing. So why are we now acting as if this guy came into a Liverpool like a Trent Alexander-Arnold? Huh? Why are we talking like Marcus Rashford got the golden end of the spoon in terms of the football club and the structure? Come on, Gary Neville. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. So this is what Marcus Rashford really said. And the question asked to Marcus Rashford was this, okay? This is what they really asked Marcus Rashford. So Micah Richards, right, asked Marcus this question. Simple.
I'm honestly fine with people having their opinion on me regardless. You know, I'm doing the thing that I love to do every day. I don't want anything else. I think it was Usage that said something actually. Like, your discipline's more important than your motivation, because sometimes you wake up and you're not motivated. It's the discipline that keeps you in check to get yourself out of bed, go to training on time, and, you know, work when you don't necessarily want to work. You know, study the game, study your opponents when you might be tired, or you might have a headache, or you might...
Now, this is a key thing to what he said a while ago. Sometimes in life, you might have everything you want, but without discipline, young men. Instead, Gary Neville says, you know, Marcus had some good points in terms of this and this in his interview, and bring light to a great interview so that younger men can learn not only from Marcus' mistakes, because he's talking about discipline and he knows he's had moments of ill-discipline and he is talking about discipline. And instead, they show light to these things. You know, he attacks the guy. So yet again, let's talk about this now. Look. So listen, let's continue.
A bit ill, but these are the things that people don't really, you know, pick up on. So it's
it's hard for them, for the general public, to understand what goes into making a top class professional.
I don't expect the general public to understand that. Like, some of my friends that are in other sports, like, I'm a huge fan of, like, boxing. I don't have a clue what it takes to become a professional boxer. Like, I like to watch them train, watch them compete. But, like, I can't start voicing my opinion out to the public on what I think this person needs to do because he lost his last fight. Like, who am I to... I don't know what it takes. I'm more, like, lenient towards the public having their opinion because they're not...
Hey, did y'all just see Micah Richards' face? He knew where Marcus was going. Hey, he knew exactly where Marcus was going with this. And he knew exactly who he was talking about too. You know, that's why you'll see the follow-up questions that they ask, and they even drop a banter and they call a name. You'll see. You'll see.
To know. Whereas like when it's like ex-players that know the game and like then I get confused about it. Like,
why do you think that is though, ex-players?
I don't know.
Why do you think they are?
Like I don't know. All I know is like...
He's talking about Alan Shearer here.
That's why they get the invite.
No, for me, all I know is like when I come to retire, I ain't going to be doing that. Like it's as simple as that. I don't want to put players down. I want to, if anything, lift players because ultimately they're going to play better on the pitch. So it's like at the end of the day, we all love watching like exciting stuff on the pitch.
I think you'd make a really good pundit.
Imagine being able.
So yeah, like, what did the guy say there that you think he was lying about? Nothing. He literally said no matter even if he's a high-level professional footballer, he have no idea what it takes to be a professional boxer. You know, at least people that try to be a professional, right? You can try to be a professional footballer and get to a certain level, but at least if you were working towards getting there, you understand the process and you would have a different love and understanding and appreciation for the graft and the craft that it takes to get to that level. Okay? A man playing pro and a man not playing pro isn't always based on your skill set. It's sometimes opportunity, it's your passport, it's a lot of things. Okay? It's just not only your ability to play. So I get that part, but what he's saying is a lot of people criticize. What hurts him more is when it's the people that actually lived the life that he lived, and then they criticize him in the way in which people that don't even, they act like, well, they never done it before, so they criticize him the same way like, well, people who never done it. And he's like, but you know what it's like to wake up every day to be a professional. Yet you look at me and say these things. It's weird because you can know there's so many things happening outside of football that can affect you on the field. And here you are, you just see me every day and yet you don't have that sort of, empathy towards me. Of course, I get that. And he has a point. And they need to do better. And this is why I always say, like, the ex-players need to quit attacking the young talents and stop trying to make it about them and still their glory days. And bro, that was 1940. Some of them, they didn't even have proper video footage to watch these guys play. Yet they want to tell us how great they were. Bro, I don't know. I never see you play. So your argument is dead. You know what I mean? Show me something on your VO app or on YouTube or something. And then we can have a conversation. I'm not saying that I'm disregarding how talented and how great they are. But I'm just saying, like, we can show an appreciation for the young men who is giving themselves and put themselves in the positions to be top level professionals. Like, let's respect how hard they grind. But yes, people, it's been your boy, Yaya, bringing you some great news today about Alexander Isak and it all. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so we can keep bringing you great content going forward. Have a good day and take care. Ciao.